Let me tell you a story. Tom is a 20-year-old guy who lives in the urban area of London. He works in a job he hates immensely, and he often daydreams of smacking his boss so mightful that the impact will create a shockwave of the magnitude of 8. In his free time, he does two things: scrolling on Insta and scrolling on TikTok. Because of that, he has lots of problems. First, his screen time is through the roof. He has 10 hours each day. On top of that, he is socially awkward. Whenever someone wants to talk to him, he literally sprints to another room, hides in a corner, and hopes the other person doesn't find him. And lastly, his mental health is fucked. He's depressed, he's anxious, and he's sad. Whenever he steps into a room, everyone around him becomes instantly depressed and sad as well, because he has this depression aura around him. Truth be told, Tom doesn't like scrolling. He even hates it. But he feels unable to stop. So he goes onto the internet and looks at the conventional help. There he finds you need to be more mindful and that 15 minutes a day is alright. So he tries that. And guess what? He succeeds. He makes progress. In the first time in his life, he actually is productive and focused. And he's on a new high. And truth be told, Tom doesn't want to be lazy. Tom has this burning desire, this burning ambition inside of him to be more productive, to be more focused, and to achieve more in life. But most of the time, he feels unable to do so. So with this new conventional help, he's finally able to act upon this desire. But after a few days, this high wears off. And after 2 weeks, he's back to square one. He's back to having high screen time, he's back to having shit mental health, and he's back to being socially awkward. Because of that, he goes on a vacation. He flies into the jungle of Cambodia. There he finds an old ruin. He steps into this old dusty ruin, and on a wall there is an old scroll. He takes this old rusty scroll, opens it, and reads. And as he reads, he realizes it. Holy shit, this is the answer I've been looking for. And he starts to read faster and faster. He literally inhales the whole scroll. And after he's done that, he uses this content and stops scrolling, reduces his screen time, improves his mental health, and finally fulfills his burning desire, and he's productive and he does good habits. And most important, he finally goes to his boss and smacks the shit out of him. Well, this story may not be 100% truthful, but I found this scroll as well, and I created it into a more tangible way, into the 5 pillars of quitting. And those pillars helped me immensely. I went from having a screen time of 8 hours each day, with most of it being scrolling on Insta, TikTok and Shorts, to now having a screen time of under 2 hours, with most of it being WhatsApp, Notes and Google Docs. I stopped using the bad apps for more than 1.5 years. And all because of the compendious 5 pillars of quitting. So, I want to help you too. And today I will talk about the first pillar of quitting. The first pillar of quitting is danger. You need to realize that the apps, they aren't cute, they aren't fun. Not 15 minutes a day is alright, no. 0 minutes a day is alright, because the apps are malicious. They don't care about you. They don't care if you feel happy, they don't care if you feel sad, and they don't care if you kill yourself. Because truth be told, if they would care about you, if they truly would care about you, they wouldn't have designed such an addictive app, such a malicious app that steals your most valuable resource, your time. If they would care about you, they would not have designed an app that fucks up your mental health so bad. Because if you, let's say, scroll for 1 hour, every scroll is another emotion. One scroll or one video could be a funny video, so you feel happy. Then a video that makes you angry. Then the next, a video that makes you sad. A video that makes you uncomfortable, and so on. And because of that, your mental health gets fucked. You almost are mentally abused because of that. And because of that reason, your mental health is shit. You feel depressed and you feel anxious. So you need to realize, you truly need to drill that in your fucking mind, that the apps are bad. The apps aren't cute. 0 minutes a day is okay. Because we need to talk about the dangers of consuming this app apart of the mental dangers. First, the physical dangers. If you scroll excessively and have phone addiction, you will develop nausea, headache, and you are a grumpy person to hang around because you have mental health problems. Next, and one of the most important thing, I guess, is your sleep. Your sleep will suffer so much. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to go to bed at 10 p.m. At 9 you grab your phone and start to scroll. Then because of the addictiveness of those apps, you scroll till 12 p.m. Then you realize, fuck, I need to go to bed. You throw your phone away, take your blanket and try to sleep. But then you realize, fuck, I'm unable to sleep. I feel so awake. And that's because of scrolling. First, your mind is fully clustered with emotion and hyper-addicted stuff that it needs to first calm down. And secondly, the blue light disturbs your circadian rhythm so much that it thinks it's daytime. So you need to wait till like 2 or 1 p.m. till you finally fall asleep. Now, let's say you went to sleep at 1 and you need to wake up at 6. You have only 5 hours of sleep. First of all, 5 hours of sleep is bad for your health in general. And with that, your focus, your productivity, and the chance of accident increases so much. You have literally a higher chance of accident because of scrolling, because of you've scrolled for hours before going to bed, and with that wasting or disturbing your sleep. The next thing, or the next physical danger that comes with phone addiction and scrolling addiction is your relationship. I've read a study that there is a couple without phone and a couple with phone. The couple that use their phone regularly, use their phone on dates and every day, they had a bad or a worse relationship than the couple that didn't use their phone. The reason being is, of course, the couple which didn't use their phone were more focused on the other person. With that, they had deeper connection, they were able to talk deeper and had just a more fulfilling and loving relationship than the other couple that on the date grabbed their phone and checked emails and weren't even fully focused and fully engaged in the other person. So with your phone addiction and your scrolling addiction, you also will have worse relationship. And talking about worse relationship, because of your phone addiction, your speaking skills will also decrease so much. If you, most of the time, text to communicate with another person, you become socially awkward. And if you spend most of the time scrolling or watching your screen and not talking to each other, you become socially awkward. And being socially awkward is such a disadvantage in life. I mean, you need speaking literally everywhere. Going to the grocery store, you need speaking. Talking to a boss about the race, speaking. Talking to a girl, speaking. Having a presentation, speaking. Everything is speaking. And if you're bad at speaking, if you're socially awkward and can't speak, then you will have a worse life because you have such a huge disadvantage. And you will fix that if you first reduce your screen time and your usage of your phone, and then instead of texting, go to other people and talk with them. Start small. Talk with your mother and have deep conversation with her, or with a friend, or with your girlfriend, or with your dad. Just with someone that you feel comfortable speaking, and then train to speak, and then increase your difficulty and your uncomfortableness with going to strangers and speaking with them. It could be simply as saying hi or how are you? And with that, you will reverse engineer this being socially awkward and your lack of speaking. Now, the mental health or the mental dangers, apart from your mental health, are your cognitive functions. Your cognitive functions, your mind and using your mind will decrease because of your phone. Because nowadays we don't need to remember stuff anymore. Most of the time we can just go on our phone and search it up. And that of course is great. It's so easy. But it also has some bad side effects. If you don't need to, let's say for example, need our mind to navigate in the streets and can use Google Maps, we don't use our cognitive function, our memory and mind as much. And if you don't train that, it will decrease. Like every muscle, if you don't train a muscle, after some time, it will decrease. And the same goes for your cognitive function and your memories. And because of our phone addiction, we don't use our memory and mind as much. And with that, it will decrease. And with that, our ability to have memories also decreases. Just imagine, when you're old, you will have fewer long-lasting memories because of that. And that's fucked. That's really fucked. The next thing is multitasking. Multitasking is detrimental for your life. And most of us do it every day. Multitasking is as simple as eating and looking at your phone, or speaking to a person and looking at your phone, or playing games and watching a video. All of that are multitasking. And multitasking doesn't work. Only about 2% of all people are able to multitask at an efficient level. So we need to stop doing that. Because if you do multitasking, you feel you are more productive. But in actuality, you are not. Only if you are in those groups of the 2%, then you could be more productive. But it's highly unlikely. So, why multitasking is so bad for you is, if you do multitasking, your ability to have complex thoughts decreases. And having complex thoughts is very important in our day and age. Because if you want to be creative, if you want to be or have an advantage compared to others, you need to be able to have complex thoughts and have with that deep conversation and learn about other people or learn about the subject faster and more. But if you do multitasking with your phone, you won't have that. So, to recap, Your phone is bad for you. You need to realize that especially scrolling and short form content is worse. It's terrible for you, especially your mental health. And if you're suffering for depression, anxiety, feeling bad, sadness, you need to stop consuming it. Not 15 minutes a day is okay. No. Completely cut it out of your life. A little actionable step for you that will help you with that is, next time you scroll and you realize you scroll, you say to yourself, I am better than this, and you close the app and you delete the app. And you do this over and over and over again till in your conscious mind you think that you're better than scrolling and you stop scrolling. Of course, there's more to it, and if you want a full guide on my 5 pillars of quitting, click the first link in the description. To recap the other stuff, you need to realize physical dangers and the mental dangers of phone addiction and scrolling addiction. Keep that in your mind, and every time you want to scroll or have the urge to scroll, keep that in your mind, that they are detrimental for your health, that you will have a disadvantage in life, and that you will be socially awkward because of that, and with that your life will feel so more difficult than if you don't do that. On that note, have a great day, sleep well, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.